Howdy people, welcome to another video on the channel. Today I'm going to be ranking every single one of Nottingham Forest's signings. Now I was going to do a review of every single one, but I wanted to make it a little bit more sort of interactive, and I'm going to be ranking in a tier list every single signing we've made, and I'm going to be ranking them from worth every penny to why did we sign them. If you want to have a go at this tier list yourself, I will leave a link to it in the description. It'll be near my social medias and whatnot. You'll be seeing this, I'm thinking around maybe either Monday or Wednesday. One of those 2 days. But yeah, without further ado, enough waffling, let's get into this video. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and if you never want to miss a video, turn the notifications bell. And yeah, let's go. So, here are the categories. So at the top we have worth every penny. They've been worth every penny so far this season, and what I think they will be worth come the end of the season. Good addition, they might not be, like 10 out of 10 every week, they put in a good shift. Decent, I think they are just standard, decent. Don't like break records, but they do well. Would be alright without them. Like, say we didn't sign them, I think, we wouldn't be in a terrible perilous situation. And why bother is like, we didn't really need them. Because we made a lot of signings, 21 incomings, that is a lot. We're going to kick things off with our last signing, funnily enough, Bidet. I'm yet to see him play, but obviously with, at the current time of recording, Musa Nikakarte's injury, he was necessary. I'm going to put him in the good addition category. He's a loan, so sort of the worth every penny doesn't really work. My aim is not to overcrowd any category, but I think so far it's a good addition. I can't really judge him without watching it play. I need to see a minimum of 2 games before I can even then, but before I can even judge them. Next up we have the lad that I can't say his name. I'm pretty sure his first name's like Brandon or something. It's like that. I mean, it's got to be the bottom 2 categories. We brought him and loaned him out immediately. I think why bother is harsh, because he's definitely someone for the future. I'm going to put him in, would be alright without them, because at the end of the day, I'm probably going to count on one hand how many appearances he's going to make this season, because he's out on loan till January, and then he comes back in January. He's inevitably going to get loaned out again. But yeah, I think he'll be a decent addition, like 2-3 plus years down the line, but right now, nah. Next up we have Willy Bolly. Now again, he's to come in to cover for defensive injuries. I'm going to put him in decent. I think Bidet is going to be the main centre back with Worrell and McKenna until Nikakarte comes back. So yeah, right now I think it's decent. He's a Premier League experienced defender, very tall, good in the air, just lacks that little bit of pace. And I think decent. I think he's a fair representation. Josh Bowler. Now, again, it's between the bottom 2 categories. We would definitely be alright without them, because at the end of the day, he's out on loan for Olympiacos. He joined for about £3-4 million, and then we've just loaned him out to Olympiacos straight away. For me, it's why bother. Like, he's come in, and he's in a position where we don't play with wingers right now. Again, it's looking likely that we will switch things up, but right here, right now, it is why bother. Because we don't play with wingers, really. I think we could switch it up, but at the same time, he's not going to be here for this season, so what is the point? At least going for him in summer. If we got him, say, January last season, he would have been a good addition. But right now, it just doesn't make sense to me. Kouyaté. Now, for me, he's decent as well. He scored on his he scored at the time of recording today against Bournemouth. Not going to talk about the rest of the game though. Done decent this season. He's come in. I think he looked a bit shaky against City, but City, and as a wealth of Prem experience, and I think decent. Comes in, can fill in at centre back, can fill in midfield. I think he's a good addition. Dean Henderson now, as much as he's a loan, he's going to be worth every penny. So far, he's been brilliant. He's not really made an error for me. Again, 3 shots on target, 3 goals for Bournemouth. One of them was a screamer. One of them was a bicycle kick from not too far out. You can't really hold Henderson against any of them. But again, West Ham won us that game. Spurs kept us in that game. He's a good addition. Newcastle, he made a lot of saves as well. So I think he's got to be worth every penny, as much as, yes, he's a loan player, so he's not a transfer signing, but worth every penny. Emmanuel Dennis, for me, he's got to start in our next game against Leeds. I think it's between decent and good addition. Again, I've not seen loads of him, so I'm going to put him right at the top of decent. But I think he has got to start against Leeds in our next game a week on Monday. But yeah, we will have to wait and see what happens with him. But again, he's a quality player based on his time at Watford, and yeah, hopefully he can get an adequate amount of game time. Let's mix things up a bit. Let's go Morgan Gibbs-White. For me, again, he's worth every penny. He's played, 4 games for Forest. Didn't really do much against Man City, but that's Man City. Everton, he came off the bench and he really created, he added more energy and just something different in the game and played well. Tottenham, he was absolutely fantastic. It was unlucky not to get on the score sheet. And against Bournemouth, got an assist and was just all-round quality today. And I think as much as we did lose in the most aggravating circumstances, I think he's a quality player. Harry Toffolo, for me, he's a good addition. He is one of 2 left-backs we have signed. We signed him from Huddersfield along with Lewis O'Brien. And he's been decent. Newcastle, he struggled quite a bit. West Ham, I felt he was very, very good. He's been between decent and good addition. I think because we did the double deal for O'Brien and Toffolo, it's 10 million. I would say O'Brien was worth probably about 7 million, and Toffolo worth about 2 or 3. So again, he's a decent player, and we have got Lodi now, so there's a lot of competition at left back, but he's a very good player. Taiwo Awoniyi. Now, he scored our first Premier League goal, but it's like he should have scored against Bournemouth today. I don't know how he didn't. I think it was a bit of a scramble and he just basically missed an empty net because the keeper came for it and he just mishit it. He's one of those strikers who needs 3 to 5 chances to score, which is not really ideal, but I like him because he's a battering ram, which I like. I like that a lot. I'm going to put him in good addition, I think. I'm going to put him in good addition. I've changed my mind with Dennis. I'm actually going to swap Dennis and Toffolo. I'm going to put Toffolo top end of decent, and I'm going to put Dennis in good addition. Nico Williams now, worth every penny. 16 million from Liverpool. I thought we did overpay for him at the time, but he's been quality. Goal line clearance against West Ham has been brilliant. Against Bournemouth, putting crosses in. He's a good attacking fullback, but unlike Jed Spence, who would attack and then just barely backtrack, he gets forwards, helps the attacks, and also gets back. And he's defensively, for me, he's just as good. He's on par with Jed Spence in terms of attacking, but in defending, he's better than Jed Spence for me. And that's why, for me, he's worth every penny. Hoi Jo Hwang now, for me, why bother? We bought him for £5 million from Bordeaux, and then we did the same as what we did with Josh Bowler, loaning him out to Olympiacos, hence his why he's in Olympiacos shirt. At least with Bowler, we had the decency to at least take a photo of him in a Forest shirt. I can't even find a picture of him in a Forest shirt, so I put him in an Olympiacos shirt. For me, again, it's why do we bother? We've signed two quality strikers already, plus we've got Sam Surridge, and Brennan Johnson can play there. I don't see why we needed him. I think if Marinakis wanted him so bad, why not just use his money and buy him straight up at Olympiacos? It's gonna be so typical for Olympiacos just to then buy him outright at the end of the season. That'll be so typical. But yeah, we'll have to see. Orel Mangala, for me, worth every penny. The only downside is he played 190 minutes against West Ham and he came off the bench against Newcastle, and then I think he got injured against Everton. So he played about, I'd say, less than 180 minutes and got injured, which isn't ideal. But West Ham, he ran the show. Newcastle, he was decent. And Everton, he really locked down that midfield. And I feel like if him and a certain somebody who I'll get onto in a moment were playing against Bournemouth, we would not have lost that game. But yeah, he's a quality signing and one of the best signings of this window, hence why he's in the top category. Moussa Nikakate also joins Orel Mangala in the top category. Brilliant defender, was fantastic against West Ham. Decent against Newcastle. I believe he got injured. Was it well against Everton? Or was it... No, I think it might have been No, it was against West Ham, wasn't it? It was against West Ham. It's a shame that he was injured so early on into his Forest career. I think it is expected in around November time, so I'd expect him late October, early November to be back. Quality, he's got pace, he's got strength. He's like a Worrell / McKenna type player, but he's got pace, which is what they don't have, and which is what we have lacked. Because other than him, I don't know what Barde's like yet, but he's got pace. He can get back as well, and he's quality, and he's been worth every penny. About, I think it was like £10 million, which is an absolute steal for him. Jesse Lingard. Now, for me, when we first signed him, it would be top category, but he's not really done loads, has he? Like, since Gibbs White has come in, he's played a lot better. He looked a lot more dynamic. For me, Bournemouth, he was poor. Gave the ball away for Billings' goal, and didn't really create all that much. Against West Ham, the assist was a scuffed shot which fell to Awoniyi, but he had that experience, so I'm not going to say we'll be alright without them, because in theory, I think we've got Gibbs White now. But when we first signed him, we didn't have Gibbs White, so I don't know if we would have still signed him. So I'm going to put him in decent, because he has that experience, he has got that quality, there's no doubt about that. It's just taking time for him to get that match sharpness back, and then that quality will come. So I'm going to put him in the middle of decent. But yeah, it's just, as soon as we sign him, I'll definitely put him in worth every penny, but he's only on a 1-year deal, so, you know, we'll have to see, but it's hard to judge him after just so little games. Omar Richards. Now, I'm tempted to put him in would be alright without them, purely for the fact he got injured straight away. So, I think that is very harsh, though. I think it is very, very harsh. But I might be inclined, though. It's between would be alright without him and decent. It's unfair because he's not played a proper game for us yet. I don't know when he's expected to be back. I think it's soon. I think it's within the next month. But it's like, we've got Loddy and Toffolo now. We bought him for £10 million off buying, but at the same time, would we have then gone out and got Loddy if, you know, Omar Richards stayed fit? So it's a bit interesting. I'm going to put him above this Brandon fella, and apologies, I don't know your name yet. But yeah, I think Richards would be alright without them / decent, but I've not seen him play properly, so it's a bit hard to judge. But he's just been injured. He's had a fracture. He got injured in pre-season, but yeah. Lewis O'Brien, worth every penny, quality. Ran the midfield against West Ham. He looked promising against Newcastle, Everton as well. An impressive performance. Spurs, another good 7 out of 10 shift. Didn't play today against Bournemouth. Not too sure why. But maybe a bit squad rotation. Yeah, but played against City. Can't read into that too much. I don't really think anyone played well, if I'm honest. Other than Loddy, he had our best chance. But yeah, I'm going to put him in worth every penny because he's just been a Rolls Royce in the midfield. Wayne Hennessy, he's coming to be a backup goalkeeper. Decent, you know. He's not coming to be our number one. You know, he played against Grimsby in the Cup. Was alright. Again, yeah, I can't read into that one too much because it's a Carabao Cup game against a lower league side. So, yeah, I think he's coming to be a backup keeper. He's going to play majority of the cup games. He should be playing twice against Man United because that's when Dean Henderson can't play. Yeah, I'm just going to put him in decent because he's coming to be a backup goalie. Again, I can't put him in would be alright without him because then we would have to have Jordan Smith, who isn't cut out for the Premier League yet. I don't know. You know, he needs to loan out of the club to the Championship, but yeah. Loddy now, for me, is going in good addition, because he's only played a couple of games. City was best chance of the game from our perspective, but then again we only had like 3 shots. Against Bournemouth, he was working really, really hard. I didn't put a foot roll for me, so I'm going to put him in upper end of good addition. I think he's going to be really good. He's on loan from Atletico Madrid, left wing back, sort of left midfield, that sort of player. And I think he is quality. I'm not going to put him worth every penny because 1, I've got quite a few players in there already, and 2, he's only played two games, 1 full 90 minutes. Yeah. Freuler. I'm also going to put him in good addition. We have got a lot of midfielders in that area, coming from Atalanta for about £7.5 million, €10 million ish. And he played reasonably well against City. Looked to be the more advanced midfielder out of the 3 in that game. Not seen too much of him other than the City game. I could see him getting a game in the next 2 to 3, 4 games. But again, he shows that he in those games he showed why he's played at Champions League level. So he shouldn't be shell shocked in playing against the Cities, the Liverpools, because he's played against these big boys before in the Champions League for Atalanta. Last but not least, Binakone. Decent or good addition. I'm gonna put him right now, right here, right now, as I'm recording. Decent. He played, I think he played against Grimsby. He came off the bench against City, looked alright. I would be very surprised in the next few games, though, if he doesn't get a game with our defence looking like it needs a couple of tweaks to it. But yeah, he can still play. He's one of those players that can play all the way along the back four. Can play at full-back if necessary, as well as centre-back. So yeah, he's a good addition. I think it's between decent and good addition. I've just not seen enough of him to put him in good addition. But yeah, those are my final rankings. Yeah, let me know what your rankings are if you want to do it your own. Link in the description, and if and when you do it, tweet it to me on Twitter, believe it or not, at LJPYT_ on Twitter. If you want to go and give this a go yourself. But yes, thank you all for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Up the forest, stay safe, and goodbye.